What's going on, people? Welcome to the match preview show. It is time to face Arsenal as we travel to the Emirates. I'm joined by Lou, Xavier, and Patrick here to get all the insights ahead of the game. As always, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, as well as dropping your score predictions. We'll see how well we done. Pretty sure no one got any points after the Larnaca game towards the end of the show. There's a lot to talk about. Of course, we're coming off a disappointing result. There isn't much time to process it. Time to focus on Arsenal. I'll start off with you, Xavier, as Lou and Patrick done the player rating show. How are you feeling a day after Larnaca going into this one?
I'm not gonna lie, my head's still a bit hot. I can't lie. It's these matches happen right in football. Play against a side who comes in, sits deep, takes their one good chance, takes it well. To be fair, I thought that was a really good goal. I think it has to be said, and then we're just playing in the final third like we look like we have no idea what we're doing. It was just a really frustrating match. I'm much less frustrated than I was, right after the match. A bit more, composed about it now. But yeah, my head's a bit gone. I'm just trying to, ground myself in the fact that it really shouldn't change us, qualifying top 8. We really should be able to get, at least 9 to 10 points from, the remaining 4 league matches we have in conference league. So I think, at the end of the day, I'll end up being fine. Maybe a bit of complacency, has been in the group a bit, this kind of thing, roots it out. So, that's kind of what, I'm holding on to. Obviously, still back, the squad and the manager. So I imagine, we'll get going soon. But, 3 without a win after, 19 unbeaten. It's a bit, tough to take right now, but I think we'll get going soon. Ideally, we wouldn't, be playing the league leaders, at the weekend, try and get the form going again. But it is what it is. Just really need a performance on Sunday. That's the main thing I'm looking for. It's just a proper performance. No, individual defensive mistakes. A little bit more clinical in goal. We'll see how the result goes. If those 2 things. But I'm really focused on those 2 things.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the defense. We'll talk about it in a few minutes' time. But Lou, in this one, Arsenal's not an easy test, but surely the players must be hungry to prove themselves after Larnaca. You would hope that they have like fire in their belly going into this one.
To be fair, I think they've got fire in their belly every game. I don't think Glasner allows a drop off in mentality. I think the reality check was more that the competition, the teams are a bit better, and they'll show us a bit more respect. Not mentality wise. And I'm confident they can go to the Emirates and put on a good show.
Yeah, Jesus won't be there, Patrick. I mean, he scored 5 goals against us. Was it last year? I can't even remember. I wasn't both of those.
League Cup, and League, yeah.
Yeah. Last year, he scored 5 goals. He won't be at that game. But against Arsenal, I mean, we have struggled quite a bit. Up until the last game we faced them at Emirates, it was a 2-2 draw. What do you think was the difference between the 2-2 draw and the previous games where we got absolutely smoked by them?
I think a lot of it was mentality. Remember, that came around we're going to approach the semi-final game. Is that right? The semi-final against Villa?
Yeah.
I think we kind of decided to go a little bit more solid defensively. I remember Mateta didn't start the game, came on and scored that great second goal. But listen, Arsenal historically have always been a tough matchup for Palace. Obviously, I'm looking at the silly stats now. Last 5, we've not won, but we've got 2 draws and they've won 3 games. I'm happy Jesus isn't playing. I'm happy Havertz isn't playing. Havertz scores against all the time. But now you got to worry about Gyökeres, and of course there's the EZE factor. People call it the EZE derby. So, there's a lot to think about. But as Lou and Xavier are saying, it's ideally you wouldn't want to play Arsenal after the 3 games we haven't won a game in. But again, if you look at where Glasner has been in the past, it might be the ideal team to play because again, there's no way levels are going to drop. It's not going to be a low block. He can play our football. He'll play the best lineup he can possibly play because we got a little bit of rest from players against Larnaca. So from that standpoint, Arsenal's always going to be tough. But I think that, yes, they're the leaders in the league and they're probably favourites to win the Premier League this season. But I fancy us to maybe get something out of this, even though obviously the form right now hasn't been great.
Yeah, it hasn't. But do you agree, Xavier, when it comes to facing Arsenal and in a funny way, even though they are favourites to win the league, it actually suits us a bit better because you would expect a bit of space in behind, especially if you do want to counter-attack. They're not going to approach the game giving Palace all the possession and just sitting having 5 at the back.
Yeah, 100%. To be honest, when I was watching the match yesterday, I was thinking, it's going to be much more enjoyable to watch us play against a side that's actually going to boss the ball against us and dictate the tempo of the game, because I think that's where we're at with our best, to be honest. The quick transitions, staying in that mid block, and when we win the ball, going forward as quickly as possible. So yeah, I think honestly this game it sounds a bit ridiculous to say, but in terms of matchups for us and how I think we'll play, I think this match suits us much more than coming in and yesterday playing a side that wants to sit deep against us. I think they played a back five and then four across the middle. So it's gonna be tough for us to break down, especially with the starting 11 that we had. I think this match suits us much more, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how the squad reacts to having to shift their playing style, basically. Doing something I think they're a bit more comfortable with. I expect Sar to be much better than he was yesterday. This kind of match suits him to the ground. Wharton getting on the half turn and getting us going forward. I'm looking forward to seeing how we can exploit spaces in transition. I think playing Arsenal provides us the opportunity to do so, and that's where the squad has traditionally thrived under Glasgow. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And obviously Arsenal are a great side, but I think the way that they play suits us more, to be honest. So I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, they are the best. In my opinion, I think they are the best defensive team in the whole of Europe. I think they've only conceded 3 goals. So no, have they conceded 3 goals this season?
3 in the league.
So. Yeah, and they've
3 in 8 games.
Yeah, 3 in 8 games. I think in the last 2 games in the league, no one's had a shot on target against them. However, big news is we'll see what happens on Sunday, but Gabriel so far hasn't been able to train with Arsenal, and he's a key element to the defense.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you for that.
I didn't know.
Arteta plays mind games with this, man.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
He literally does it. He literally does it to the. He does it every week. He says a player.
Yeah, but what's gonna? I don't understand why he would have to lie about that. Like,
if I was a manager, I would. If I was a manager, I would just lie anyway. As well.
Well, if he's facing Liverpool, then I'll say cool, or someone else in that caliber. He's facing Palace. There's not that much for us to rotate. It's not like we're going to change putting Ketty up front because of Gabriel now.
Bro, he's literally known for this since he took over. He literally says a players hasn't trained, he don't know, and then they start.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not saying he's not going to start. But it could be true as well that he hasn't trained.
But so the wild thing is, they have Christian Mosquera and Hincapié to play. So it's not even if they even play, it's a big drop off. I mean, obviously it's a drop off because Gabriel's that good, but it's not a massive drop off. So why he plays? Lou's right though. He does it all the time. He's a mind game guy. I don't know what that guy's problem is. He does it all the time. I don't know why. He's
a sicko.
The guys are not going to play.
Well, for set pieces, that would be massive.
I kind of rate it. He's a sick individual. Right?
Yeah, he is. He's a freak. I realized this as well.
Glasgow will start telling you exactly how we're going to play.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be honest, exact up front. Yeah.
Too honest.
In terms of Arsenal's defense and Palace, Patrick, I mean, chances in the front of goal, it has been an issue. Even though we're saying that Arsenal should suit us a bit more in terms of having more transition opportunities, they are still a good defensive side. Like in terms of trying to stop the transitions, we need to really be on point. We need to be on point on Sunday, and we haven't been so far. It's been frustrating. I mean, move the Larnaca game aside. Larnaca, Frederick side, I think we could put it in the same boat. I think for me, it's not necessarily even about the low block. I think it's a combination of the low block and opposition formation, which we won't have with Arsenal. But the bigger thing with Palace right now is chances and taking, some of the chances that we created against Larnaca. If we have them against Arsenal, we have to be finishing it. But what do you do differently against Arsenal? I don't understand. I mean, surely it will click at some point.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything you have to change necessarily. Lou and I were talking about it during the play ratings. A key is if Wharton and Kamada aren't starting and they will against Arsenal, you need more creativity from the central midfielders. Then you had to get the number 10s were flying and then the wing backs. And against Larnaca, the number 10s, Pino and Sar were just they were non-existent. Sar doesn't like the ball, doesn't take a player one-on-one. Pino can't take a player one-on-one and didn't do it against Larnaca. Without a doubt, we're going to have to get balls in behind to Sar to take on Lewis Skelly if he's playing at left back, and then get Pino going one-on-one against Timber, which again is going to be difficult because Timber's really good. I think the physicality of Mateta versus either Gabriel or Saliba is key, because Mateta thrives on that physicality thing, and it's going to be physical with them. And then you need to get Wharton getting balls and Kamara getting balls in those little spaces in between, and get Munoz bombing down that right-hand side, getting the crosses in. Again, I think it suits us much better than a low block side. It's going to be difficult. Listen, we all know, you mentioned it, they are the best defensive team, not in England, but in Europe. It's not going to be easy. But we have scored against them in the past. I mean, even in the 5-1 game, wasn't it 1-1 at one point? Didn't Saul get a goal in that game at one point, make it 1-1? Right? Right. So we can score against them, but we got to be better defensively. The good thing is, honestly, as good as they're defensive, they're not really clicking, quote unquote, going forward. Gyökeres has scored goals, but hasn't lit the world on fire. Saka's the one you got to watch out for, obviously, and Eze. There's no Odegaard, by the way. Odegaard always played well against us, sets up chances. He's not going to be in there. So for me, 100% D, we've got to take our chances, whether it's, and again, listen, we talk about Mateta all day, but can somebody else step up and score a goal? Like yesterday, again, it was a great, corner kicks were coming in, and Lacroix missed a sitter of a header from 5-6 yards. We need someone else to start scoring goals. Yes, Mateta's missed chances and had to score, but we need Saar to start scoring some more goals. Actually, I shouldn't say Saar, he actually has scored. Pino to score, Wharton or Kamara to score a goal. We just need other players to score goals, because again, I get that Mateta's missed chances and he had to score, but someone else had to step up, because it can't be just one player.
Yeah, it can't be one player. And just thinking about it right now, I'm trying to go back to the start of the season, because I can't remember exactly, but I mean, there was a period, Lou, where we had a lot of defenders scoring goals for us, and that seems like it's kind of dried up. So maybe this problem has been kind of covered up in the past by defenders getting the goals for us, do you think? And they're slow down, and now we're having maybe some problems up front with the front three.
I think it's natural to think like there's a bit of an issue, but I just think we was on such a long unbeaten run. We're just kind of figuring it out. We're just like recalibrating. I thought we was good against Bournemouth. Our XG has been really high, so we've created the most chances in the league. So I don't really think there's an issue, but finishing off the chances. That's what I think our problem is. We're not being clinical. We're not punishing teams. And to beat Arsenal, you probably have to be the most clinical possible, as clinical as you can be, because you're not going to get many chances. So yeah, it's going to be really tough defensively, offensively. But again, stylistically, I think Palace at the top of their game is probably, I know it sounds silly, but probably one of the hardest games for Arsenal in the league. Just stylistically, if Palace are 100% on their game. But again, if Arsenal are purring and playing to their top of their ability, then they're probably going to end up on top. But we need to hope that they maybe drop off 5-10% and we're fully on top. But they're going to be full of confidence. They just slapped Atletico Madrid 4-0. They're 3 points ahead of City. They're 4 points ahead of Liverpool. To them, this is the time for them to really put their foot on the gas. And I think they're probably seeing this Palace game as like a real test for them. Like I said, Palace are a physical team who sit in a mid-block, who counter-attack. Can they break them down? Can they push us aside easily? But yeah.
I want to just add, because I was watching, there was a show over here talking about breaking down Arsenal stats, and Arsenal scored 37 goals from corners at the start of the 23-24 season. That's 60 more than any other side. They got 7 goals from corners this season. It's tied with the most. They've had 63 corners taken this season. That's more than 15 more than any other team. Set pieces and corners are going to be the key. They are not clicking from open play. Most of their opportunities come from set pieces. We have to defend better, and if we can, like I mentioned about Lacroix, we have to try and take a set piece or two opportunity, because to me, that's what the game we won on Sunday. Not necessarily open play, but set pieces. We watch any Arsenal game, they're going to score from a set piece, so we've got to defend them.
It's like a penalty.
Perfectly.
I was going to move on to set pieces, but you mentioned it now, so we can talk about it. But that's one of the key elements of the game in terms of us getting an opportunity to get any kind of result. Limit the set pieces. It's ridiculous, and that's why I mentioned Gabriel, because Gabriel is a key element to those set pieces. So, I mean, in maybe an open play, they might have not that much of a drop off because of the alternative that they have to Gabriel if he doesn't start. But when it comes to set pieces, I think that's a key element of their game that'll be missing if he didn't play. But even with us with set pieces, Lou was talking about it yesterday. But defensively, we haven't been as good. Would you say in terms of defending set pieces?
Was it Millwall front post, West Ham,
Bowen? Yeah, West Ham's one was ridiculous. Bowen scoring header.
There was another one as well earlier on in the season. I'm trying to remember it.
Was Forest? No,
not Forest.
No.
Well, there was Bournemouth this past weekend as well.
Yeah, Bournemouth one was bad.
We've been very good with set pieces in general since Glasgow's has come in. We've been one of the better sides in the league.
But I think maybe one of the reasons is teams are now focusing more on their set pieces and trying to be more creative. Like we said, me and Pat spoke about it on the ratings. Right now is probably the hardest time to score from open play. Like, it's really hard to score from open play. Hence why everyone's doing long throws. Everyone's trying to get creative with set pieces, trying to open up the game. It is really hard to score from open play because everyone's so tactically well drilled. Everyone's really fit and physical. The Premier League, there's like everyone's good. So to find that edge sometimes comes from set pieces. So I think maybe we might have slightly dropped off 5%, but then the league in general has got better at set pieces and trying to carve out chances like that.
Yeah, I agree. But talking about defense in general, are any of you concerned about 6 goals conceded in the last 3 games now, Xavier?
I think I'd be a bit more concerned if it was, breakdowns in our structure, how we're drilled, that type of thing. These breakdowns are coming from, individual mistakes. You see the goal we conceded yesterday. Canvo doesn't see, the guy coming to intercept the pass, plays the other play through. It's a nice finish. Bournemouth, a couple of times he just switched off the corner. I'm trying to remember the second goal. The second goal, Mark doesn't get it clear. Mark doesn't get that one clear. Third one, Richard switches off on the run, lets the guy get behind him, crosses it. So, it seems to me that, the breakdowns that we're having just are coming down to individual mistakes. We're not being, pulled out of position, on a larger scale and, conceding goals that way. So I think those kinds of things, can just be ironed out. I thought Canvo yesterday was really good. Just had the one mistake and the mistake was punished. And it seems to be just kind of how it's going, the past couple games. And that's kind of how, it's a long season. We've already played 14 matches this season. And it's, going to play at least 2 more before the end of the month. It's been a long season. We have plenty more matches to go. And these kind of things just kind of happen over the course of a season. And, you hope those kind of things get ironed out. And I imagine they will, because it hasn't been, a feature of us under Glasner. And so, again, I think, it's frustrating to watch, the individual mistakes, especially how it seems to be that we're getting punished for them every single time, these past, 3 matches. But I think those things would get sorted. I'd be much more concerned if it just seemed that we couldn't defend anyone as an entire unit as opposed to just a breakdown in individual players. I think we have the quality in the defense. Obviously we've seen that quality, and I imagine we've seen it for such a long time, the quality that we have in the back 5 and people have stepped in there at points including likes of Lorimer and Canvo that I think get sorted out. It's just a bit frustrating to watch now, but I would rather the individual mistakes that I think can be sorted as opposed to widespread breakdowns in defensive shape, which I don't think has been the case recently.
Yeah, Patrick, you did mention the return of EZE. Let's talk about it a bit more. Are you worried that he's going to get a goal or assist? I don't think he's scored for Arsenal. Well, he has scored for Arsenal. He scored in the League Cup game.
Port Vale.
Yeah, but in the league, I don't think he's got an assist or a goal so far for Arsenal. It'll be so typical of him to do that against Palace.
He has an assist, by the way.
Does he in the league?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he assisted Gyökeres against against Forest. I think. I think it was Forest. Yeah.
Okay.
But he hasn't scored yet. Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. It's easy to say, typical Palace, blah blah blah. I don't really ascribe to that that thought pattern. Could he score? Of course he could. He's that good of a player. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really watched Eze with Arsenal. I can't do it. I really can't watch them play.
Oh, no,
Game on the
no,
team.
you're gonna. No, you're gonna.
This will be the first time I will watch Arsenal for 90 minutes this season. I'm not watching as they play for them. You know how I feel about Arsenal. So could he score? Of course. Will he score? I don't know. The good thing is, listen, no team knows Eze better than Glasgow and Palace, so we're gonna know how to play against him. And I think that's a massive thing. I haven't really watched him. I know he's had moments of good play. He hasn't been outstanding. He's playing in his better position now. He's playing more centrally, right? He's not playing on the left hand side, right? Playing more centrally. Odegaard out.
It's mixture.
He's been
playing right. He's been playing right centre mid.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Odegaard, yeah.
Centre mid, not wide right, right? Not because
He's been playing as an 8.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean that's not his best position. Listen, man, we all know how. Go ahead, Louis.
Arteta's a bit of a sicko. I reckon there's a possibility he doesn't start him. I think there's a possibility. I think there's a possibility he doesn't start him.
I think he has to. Odegaard is out injured, no? So
but
Moreno.
Moreno
and physicality.
I could see it, to be fair. Just Marino, Rice, and Zubamendi. He does love that.
Yeah, I'm not.
I pray for that to happen because one, as they can't score from the bench, and two, I'd rather play against them. Not that they can't score against it because they certainly can, but I rather the physicality against Kamada, Wharton, and then obviously Munoz and Mitchell being in there a little bit, maybe one of the centre backs. But listen, again, going back to Eze, can he score? Well, he can't score from the bench for sure. But who knows? By the way, real quick, I just noticed that we missed the presser and it's out.
That's because it was he done it after. I don't
right. Do you want to hear a little bit about the team news or about it? So he said it looks like everyone came through physically. Okay, for Monica. He said the players already started with recovery, and with the players who didn't play and keeping them in the rhythm, they'll get 30-40 minutes, a little bit of ball work. Where the squad is at. Of course, the start was excellent, but I was clear that it doesn't mean the whole season will be like this because then we would win all 4 competitions. But again, I have no concerns at all because the performances are okay. He also goes on the chance of facing Arsenal. I said before, Bournemouth, that it don't expect a 3-3, and then it happened. But to be honest, I think the last result at the Emirates, the 2-2, even there, we had great chances before we scored the equalizer. The 3 days before the FA Cup semi-final, so they're looking forward to this game. Of course, I watched the game against Atletico Madrid. You can see they are very efficient, very dangerous at set plays. We just mentioned that. They can also create situations. They make good runs in behind with their wingers and are good in the 1v1s. I don't expect us to have 7 or 8 big chances, but on the other side, I hope I'm wrong, like it was about Bournemouth, and we have 7 or 8 big chances there. And again, Louis Price said this yesterday after the game. So.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he hasn't said much, has he? That we don't know.
Really. No,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see what happens with Eze. I mean, it is gonna be interesting to see. I mean, I don't think there'll be any negative reception from Palace fans, but you know,
there shouldn't be. Shouldn't be.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be up for the game against his former teammates, and I'm sure the players would want to be up for it against him. It'll be funny. If he does start. But let's see how he performs against the likes of, I don't know, it'll be like Walter and Kamada, I guess, in midfield, which will be interesting. Anything else to add before we move on to score predictions?
No.
Nah, let's move on to score predictions, which is going to be short and sweet anyways. Patrick, no one picked up any points, did they?
Yeah, no one picked any points against Larnaca. Unfortunately, we all went for the win and we lost the match. So AJ's gone 2-1 Arsenal, Stan's gone 2-1 Palace, T's gone 1-1 draw, and Nick's gone 3-1 Arsenal. Before we talk, just what's that called again? Full disclosure. D had been on another show and picked a score, which he says he's gonna probably change. But let's just see what he does. But anyway, Xavier, you want to go first?
What score? I'll go first, by the way. But it's my turn to go first. But can we just confirm what score he gave?
I'll say the score because I'm not going to change my score. Don't worry.
Okay. He went 2-1.
So you can when it comes to my thing, then you'll be able to find out.
Okay, because I don't know what score D gave.
It was 2-1 Arsenal. He was on.
Let him go first.
That's what I was gonna go 2-1. I was gonna go 2-1 Arsenal.
Oh, okay, cool. You're saying 2-1 Arsenal, right?
Cool. Yeah, 2-1 Arsenal. Yeah.
All right, cool. Xavier.
I don't know. I hate predicting us to lose, but nah, I won't. 2-2.
2-2. Okay,
Nice.
Patrick.
I'm gonna go 1-1 draw.
Yeah. All right. I'm
I
going
almost went 0-0 draw, but we're not gonna keep clean sheet against Arsenal, so I'm gonna go 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for 1-1 as well. Let us know.
whoa!
No. Let him. That's fine.
No, I don't want to have the same prediction as you. I don't want to have the same prediction.
All right,
as you.
fair. All right, 1-1 draw. All right, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm changing it. Interesting.
Again, I hope you get the points because then it means Palace drew and
Well, look, the last few weeks I've been missing out on points because of a certain. Let me not get into that. But yeah, let's just see how it goes. Hopefully, we take our chances and we do, finally get a positive result. A draw would reset the cycle. Everyone will forget about Larnaca, and then we got Liverpool coming up, which won't be easy. But if you have enjoyed this, drop a like, subscribe, and let us know your score predictions in the comment section down below. We'll be back most likely tomorrow. Well, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow when you're recording this for the match reaction and then preview for the Liverpool game. Yeah, when this is released.
This is dropping on Saturday.
So yeah, I mean, basic maths, right, Patrick? But
that's not maths. Isn't that it's not maths? It's about
yeah, well,
said the guy who's in control of when it gets uploaded.
Up the Palace.